Hello, everybody. Welcome back to ESL Challenger League. This time, South America. Did you miss me? I've changed up my partner. A little bit of infidelity never hurt anybody. Please welcome my new co-caster, Fearless. How are you doing this evening?
Hello. I'm doing pretty good. I mean, it's been a long day, but I mean, we have plenty more Counter-Strike action to come, and it's exciting now in the SA region where things have been stacked. Now, a couple matches here and there postponed, but tonight we're gonna get all into the action.
Yeah, I mean, both of us have just come off of some pretty hectic series. You were over in Impact, the Women's League, and obviously I've just finished up in Europe as well. But, there's more Counter-Strike to be played, so we'll bring you all of that action. And as mentioned, we're going to be here over in the South American region, and we're going to be jumping into MIBR versus Sharks. Now, this is an interesting one because, as I understand it, one of our teams is not having the best run of things at the moment, Villas.
No, MIBR is currently at the bottom of the standings. Now, this isn't necessarily due to their playing bad at all. It's just a very unfortunate scheduling, which means that they unfortunately had to forfeit all three of the matchups that they had to play thus far. Which unfortunately ends them all the way at the bottom as of right now. But now we get our first real test for MIBR. I mean, we know that they are capable of a lot. So I have high hopes for MIBR that they can potentially take the first win here.
Yeah, I must admit, I think that I favor MIBR a little bit in this matchup. Taking a look at some of the teams that they've played before. They've had a really strong history over the last little while, had some really good matchups going their way. But I suppose the same could be said for Sharks. I mean, season 47 so far for them has been a little bit of a flawless run in terms of the games that they have played. So it might still be a tough one for MIBR, their first match of the season, and so much is on the line. Now, we'll kind of deep dive a little bit into these teams. I know that you had spent a little bit of time looking into them. So, what can you tell us? What have you gleaned about these teams that you can share with the class?
I mean, you were already just mentioning how Sharks has been pretty consistent in the season thus far. The only real slip up here, perhaps, that they've had was against Fluxo, and we know how good Fluxo is. So I'm not too surprised that that those two occasions were a bit more of a rougher affair, 13-6, 13-5. But overall, I mean, the other matchups have been going pretty great. And something that caught my eye is that they play Ancient almost every single matchup in the ECL currently. So, kind of I'm expecting to maybe see it coming out here today again. But yeah, overall, Challenger League going great. Outside of Challenger League, struggling here and there a little bit, making it to other big events. Take I Am Dallas or I Am Chengdu, not quite making it to the event, but each time getting so incredibly close, which must be quite tough. They did make it to the close qualifiers to Jönköping, so high hopes for them to potentially make it to that event.
Well, you mentioned Ancient, and wouldn't you know it, that is indeed going to be our
Yep.
first match of the evening. I've just finished a cast on Ancient. We're going to dive straight back into it. And yeah, I'm not complaining. I actually really do enjoy Ancient. I know that both of these two teams, not the biggest fans of Overpass. Neither one of them have really played it recently. So unsurprising to see that that one got yeeted out. It actually got yeeted out towards the end of the veto, which I think was a little bit of a
Yeah.
surprise. But for Ancient, it's also fairly similar ground for both of these two teams. The difference in wins is fairly negligible, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that Sharks have just played it a little bit more often than MIBR have. I will say, I was taking a look at their history, and it's been a pretty much the MIBR show for every single time they've matched up, except for October 2023 was the last time
Yeah.
Sharks were able to beat them. Now, obviously, there's a lot of roster changes that happened between then and now. There's a lot of shuffles, there's a lot of big changes. So maybe this could be the moment where MIBR, stand up and be counted for.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely had like slightly better results. The overall ranking is just a tad bit higher, so we have perhaps more expectations from MIBR coming into this matchup. But yeah, they have still yet to really prove themselves here in the ESL Challenger League. I'm honestly curious to see if this whole row that happened thus far, all these schedule conflicts and you name it, if it's gonna weigh in or if they're just gonna steamroll with ease through this. Of course, it's a best of one, and if there's something we know in out of best of ones is that anything can happen. So you never know what upset is coming right around the corner.
Yeah, and unfortunately for MIBR, at this point in the season, I don't think that there's a way for them to go. I mean, even into relegation. Maybe if they do well in their next few games, there's a chance for that. But if they're not able to snag a win here and maybe their next game, then there's a very good chance they're just going to go straight demoted down into open. Which for a team like MIBR, I don't think that that's well, for an organization like MIBR, it's not really something that they want to have happen to them. So these next few games are going to be really, really important to make sure that they can clinch out those wins. As you mentioned a little bit earlier, they are sitting at the 0-6 at the moment. So, a 16-team bracket, round robin going through. There's still some serious chance, serious opportunity to pull through. But we'll have to see if they can get through this first challenge first. As we said, ESL Challenger League Season 47 here on the South American region. Heading on over to Ancient for MIBR, facing up against the Young Sharks.
Yeah, a lot on the line here, as you just mentioned, for MIBR. Technically, this being week 4, there's still also being week 5. There is a bit of wiggle room left, but it might have to come down to round difference as well in the end. So winning dominantly is really the key here for MIBR.
Yeah. So much on the line here. We spoke about how the best of ones can be a little bit coin flippy, a little bit difficult. That being said, we do have 2 back-to-back best of ones. So at the very least, there's an opportunity to claw back if the first map doesn't go quite the way that you would have wanted.
Doodly is already in hand. Only problem being is that drop, in fact, dropped on the site. And with that, bomb site compromised completely. Smokes are up. And what do you do now? Bomb planted. You have to regroup as a team. Try to retake this bomb site. But there's no kit in MIBR's hands.
Time is definitely against them here. They have to just try their very best. Get their bodies out there. Put them on the line. And post-plant setup from Young Sharks is so good to try and find an opening here. Great molly to deny a potential defuse. Perfectly timed. And there's just no way.
Yeah, time continuing to tick. They do get a good chunk of kills. Dog, the only one still standing. But too far away with the bomb. Have to just give it a run. Armor to be saved. The pistol round will go the way of the Young Sharks.
I'll be happy with that first one. It's going to be an extra little bit of cash available for them. Invest in. Hopefully turn this into a little bit of a runaway. But we mentioned a little bit in the pre-show. Pistol rounds can be a little bit coin flippy. Can be a little bit hard to predict. And MIBR going for the second round force. Some teams have opted into this. It's becoming a slightly more common affair. But I must admit, I'm not the biggest fan.
No, it's very tricky, especially with them doing this on CT. If they do end up losing this, their economy is going to be in shambles. And Ancient as well is a map where you kind of want to limit the space that T-side is getting. We're already not off to a great start. A lot of damage dealt upon drop, and Safi tagged as well as the 5th man falling.
Okay, MIBR here trying to hold on to the few weapons that they did invest into. Like we said, right? Very uncommon. It can be very risky to put that much of a spend in after losing the first pistol. If they can make this a little bit expensive at the very least, they'll be happy with that. The Sharks still have so much time to play with as well, so not feeling the pressure just yet. They know they have a numbers advantage. They know drop should be relatively low. So to pivot off of that, not too much of a difficult task.
Boost coming up, 3 men strong here upon that A site. The mid is completely open. You can actually see that drop is about to wander off of B as well, try to maybe group up. And then put the gamble up on that one site. Oh, actually, this is not a bad position. I do kind of like this. So in case people were to take very deep mid control, he could potentially be able to punish that. But of course, he is low. And yeah, this is painful. They gambled upon the wrong side. B is being taken. Even with only 10 seconds left, no problems there.
Yeah, I mean, I think for MIBR, it was just a case of, all right, we're going to go chill on B, or rather on A. If they come here, we'll deal with it. If they don't, we get to keep our weapons. That's the best that they're going to be hoping for. However, it looks like Sharks might just be on a little bit of a hunt here. Smell the blood in the water. Finally, that analogy makes sense because Sharks. I've been saying that for days, and I've been waiting for the opportunity to actually have a team that has something to do with Sharks.
Bit of a cheeky hunt down, and well, we'll get 2 more depths. Drop is 1 HP, but he is able to save it from us here in the process. But yeah, at the end of the day, it is the conversion here found here for the young Sharks. Up to a very good start.
I'm amazed that Safi dies to bomb there. I didn't realize that he was that close to the radius. That's ridiculous.
It's ancient. That's what it is. Some maps have a very tricky bomb radius, ancient being one of them. Yeah, and on the back of that, it's gonna be a very rough buy. No, look at this knee damage already across the table here, but MIBR continue to push. Oh, they took the push.
Oh, I appreciate the aggressive push. I appreciate the attempt at running it down, but Sharks were ready for it. They had the mid-section completely locked down, waiting for that push to come through. Enemy teams on an eco, they're on the CT side. Chances are they're going to try and push you. Young Sharks are letting them make this way too expensive, though. The bomb's still not down.
Yeah, they're starting to overthink the situation a little bit of how close could the CTs be, and in fact they are. That smoke about to fade. Now, there is cavalry here. There is enough help. Oh, and while I say that, Doc needs to be a bit careful because he's quite low, but he does stand his ground. So they survive, but only with 2 players. That is, as she just said, incredibly costly.
Yeah, Reinvest is going to have to come through quite heavily here. Thankfully, after winning 3 rounds, they've still got some cash available to them. They can, string together a pretty damn good buy. But if they lose this round, and this is where the problem comes in, generally speaking, if you've kept the first 3 rounds clean, even if you lose the 4th round, the first gun round for your enemy, you can still buy up in the next. But because it's been so costly so consistently, if they lose this round, MIBR are poised to snowball. They've got the AWP online as well, so they're going to try to lock this down. Already, Safi with the opening kill. The follow-up is good.
Oh. That was beautiful. The counter flash into the site, completely blinding the Sharks there. And they have no choice but to just fall back. What do you do now that you are 2 players down? It's only them 2. They do have the bomb, but there's just no control.
And the round slipping away from them. You gotta wonder if they're just gonna try to hold on to these weapons, because as mentioned, economy's in a dire position, and to try and bring this back from 2 versus 4, damn near impossible. But it looks like they're just gonna walk straight into Exit's crosshairs here.
That's a matter of being patient. There we go. That's the first, and well, his teammate might not even have to help out. Maybe just a better time to save. Then again, can you hang on? That is always the question. But if he does manage to save his AK, there should be enough money in the bank for young Sharks here to once again buy up.
It's a little bit rough that they did lose the AWP there as well. Unfortunately, you're not gonna be able to recollect that, knowing that the AWP is holding that angle. There's no way in hell. So, gonna be a little bit disappointed with that. I would have preferred to have seen them try to hold on to the 2 guns, maybe chill out here towards their spawn and keep that into the next round. AWP would have been pretty game-changing into this round where they have so little to work with. But unfortunately, hindsight is 2020. MIBR are going to be looking to the future, feeling very good about how that round went. Minimal casualty, minimal reinvest. And like I said, right, the potential for that snowball. At least Sharks were able to hold on to the 1 AK, so they've got a little bit coming into this one. But again, losing this round puts them in dire straits.
Look at this. Immediately quick aggression back on the table for MIBR. So they have a lot of control when it comes down to that B bomb site. Not as much over towards A, but this is, you know, you take space on one part of the map, maybe leave something else a bit more open, but we do have additional defense coming in on this A bomb site. So they're not completely leaving A open, very much taking this into consideration of what the potential plan could be. And look at how far Exit has already pushed up.
I will say I love the early map control from MIBR. They want to cut off these rotations as quickly as humanly possible and make Sharks very uncomfortable. And that, I mean, they do seem to be achieving that. But look, the stack is moving in towards mid. Exit could be overrun here. He's good for the first. And his teammate backs him up. And it's, oh my goodness, that was literal firing squad.
Damn. I mean, the setup already early on from MIBR was so good, taking the space across the map, and they sort of just pincered them into one part of the map, able to lean them right up. And this is quite tough. Now, 2 rounds lost in a row. Time for MIBR to build the bank. And, well, time to eco on the side of Young Sharks.
MIBR about to even out the scoreline here, like you said. Equalizer. That again kind of accentuates the power of the pistol. You get that, you can springboard yourself, but it can so easily be taken away from you. Exit from Donut. 3 easy sprays. Fearless, you're not going to get to play-by-play another round.
No, it's just over before you blink. That's how fast it goes. Also, the last 2 shots just hit with USPs. They just don't care. Even if you run out of bullets, you know, we got the better aim. But, you know, eco round, anti-eco, I'll give them that. Now Young Sharks back with the 8K squad on the table. Things being dropped for one another here for MIBR. But thus far, flow looks good, especially now with the fire rounds coming into contestment. Been able to deal with it well.
Oh, drop. So much damage done onto Doc there. The HE to finish it off. That's devastating for Sharks. 1 player down already. They forced into this. They have so little to work with. Almost no utility left on board. And they're just getting torn apart.
Oh no, just one by one they keep falling. At least that is 1 kill back. But Insaney just secures it. Adds another one to the list of deaths. Oh, what do you do now? No, you'll just have to try and swing, bear aim. But 4 players is one hell of a job. One hell of a task to clear. And MIBR, now this is the flow that is going. Of course, MIBR, we know the statistics on this particular map are insanely good. I think this is their most played map, if not also their most won map. So I'm not too surprised to see this cleanliness coming out of MIBR. It's just insanely sharp.
I look forward to a Tech 9 rush. And it better... No, it's not a rush. It's a default. I was so busy looking at the guns, I forgot to look at the map. Man, I always see Tech 9s and I get excited, and then it's not a rush, and then I just feel like I've been robbed.
Yeah, not quite the firepower, not quite the pace just yet. But they are sort of lurking around Speedway here. Just waiting for the smokes to disappear. Oh, but... Oh, at least, okay. They do get a double over here, which could open things up towards this B-bomb side. But Safi is already here with the AWP. And alongside Insaney as well. Short as a smoke. He could technically boost over it, or just use a nade.
Those free upgrades are going to potentially make some magic here. This bomb's going to get planted fairly easily. I'm just gonna have to back up and hold the line. This is a winnable round, and it started off looking like it would have been a complete disaster. How do MIBR mount this retake? Flash will come through. No, it was smoke.
Straight across the table, and it keeps going back and forth. 1v1 duel, but no, it is Doc that wins it out. Manages to find an AK just before the final fight, and that ties up the scoreline.
You know what? It was a mini Tech-9 rush. 3 people rushed in towards Jaguar.
A bit delayed, yeah.
Yeah, you know, you didn't get everybody involved in it, but you got enough involved in it. They only lose 2. They pick up some free guns, head on over to the site, and it's the... I'm not going to say the easiest hold of their lives, but they make it work for themselves. They're going to be feeling very happy with that one.
There has to be the confidence booster. No go for low as well. Pawn and AWP. To bring the heat, need to bring the firepower. I do love this deep mid control. Something they have been lacking a couple rounds ago. Oh, but this is not great. Your AWP is being taken out, but I guess both AWPers get taken out. Immediate trades once again, but now MIBR seems to be a tad bit stronger. 2-player advantage now, as it is just tags upon the site. Or nearing the site.
It's a series of 1v1s across the board. But MIBR come out on top of it. Chances of Sharks being able to bring this one back so low. Swings the wrong way. I mean, you know what? Even if Sharks don't win this round, that extra kill, I'm not going to be too upset with that.
It's going to make a run for it. Try to get towards B. And what is the approach going to be of MIBR? They're going to stick together. Looks like Drop is very much still busy with mid. Now, he does have a fast rotate. Oh, not quite the timing. Just a tad bit too late. So that means that Sharks can plant the bomb here. Of course, 13 HP, but it's not impossible.
MIBR had no idea for the longest time. Oh, I thought he would, like, tuck in, maybe boost up onto the box and wait. But unfortunately, not to be the case. However, I mean, bomb down, 3 kills onto the MIBR players. That's so much damage done. Extra little bit of cash available for them. It's not a hell of a lot, but it might just be enough to get them something workable into the next round. As MIBR bring themselves to 1 round away from confirming, at the very least, an evened out scoreline at the half. If they win this one, they get to 6. Sharks down onto pistols. That's a lead at the half.
Yeah, MIBR is... I think the momentum is still on their side. Them being able to have the win streak earlier on, and now relatively fast getting back into the flow again. Their economy is in a very good spot to just sort of ride out until the end of this half. So they don't necessarily have to be worried, at least on that end. But still have to bring the rounds to the table. And thus far, Abdul being won by the Sharks.
Great boost up there, and the adjustment just wasn't available for Safi. Taking that offline. It is recoverable, so they at least can still have that available to hold down some of these lines of battle. Sharks look to change things up, reaggress, move in. No shot. If you get another kill here, if you win this duel for a second time, Drop pulls away.
Uh-oh. Okay, I had to rely on the smoke there, but still alive. Not too much damage taken. Oh, look at this. MIBR. Go and investigate a bit. Back of that flashbang. Completely blind. More members fall on the side of the young Sharks. They try to bounce back. But now it's just the AWP left. Does have the bomb in his hands. Will go for the plant. But this is not easy to hold your ground right now with an AWP. You have to get very close and personal. You have no idea how many or where they're going to be coming from. And yeah, the hopes for a no-scope, but it's not quite connecting.
Well, the first to die in that round was the AWP, and the last to die was also the AWP. Random little tidbit that I happened to notice. But there it is. Another round on board for MIBR. 6 rounds here, confirming themselves, at the very least, a tied-up scoreline. And the Sharks would love to get another 2 rounds here. 4 is definitely workable. In MR12, 4 is the MR15-6. You get 4 on board, you're going to be really happy going into the next half. Or at the very least, you're in with a chance. But to get an extra 2 rounds here would be potentially game-changing. However, the force up into this round will leave them in a very tight spot in the next.
Immediate trades across the table, but continues to be... Now, the rest of the young Sharks being patient. A lot of early smokes prevent them from getting that map control. But on the side of MIBR, they too lost numbers. So have to be careful, maybe not to overextend, because then things go from bad to worse.
I think drop falling off here is the right call. I don't want to give over anything unnecessarily. This is still very much anyone's game, but look at how MIBR have fanned themselves out. Yes, okay, we will see Safi and Drop kind of connect up with one another. If Exit had carried on along his trajectory, the potential backstab could have been amazing. Now he's left his 2 teammates completely alone towards this B site.
Oh, but that's such a crucial kill to be hitting. 2 on 2 now on this side. Bomb planter spotted, leg sticking out and will be killed. And now there is a lot of pressure. There's only 25 seconds. The first duel won, but the nade will become the better of him.
7-4. Last round in the half here for Sharks. Okay, still have cash available for them, so they'll be feeling all right about that. Haven't been able to get too much done. A couple of players have been putting up some numbers here, but just consistently getting sat back down round after round. Safi's been fantastic with a lot of these opening duels. If you can keep that up here, maybe they'll secure themselves that 8.
This time no deep smokes. And instead Young Shark can take a bit of a peek into middle, but it seems that is not quite where they want to head. Once again, everyone grouped up towards this B bomb side, ready for an execute, it seems.
They've already spotted out over towards B, so they know that they can call in for the reinforcements, but no movement just yet. They know how Sharks like to play the map. They know that pulling over the rotation too early could be their ultimate downfall. Now we're going to see a little bit of movement potentially start to come over. The problem is MIBR haven't done a lot of proactive information seeking, but now as the exec starts to come through, the rotation will have to follow.
Oh, this is great. So immediately once Young Sharks drop a bunch of util, there's counter, but you would expect that flash would have been perfect. Only problem being that it blinded them as well. Trouble up ahead, and oh no! People fall like flies on the side of MIBR. Now bomb being planted, a 2-on-4 retake. What do you do? Because there's still so much util left on the side of the Sharks. And as a player to be in every corner, even a wraparound slowly to come as well from mid. This is just so incredibly tough. Young Sharks make it 5. Slowly inch closer, but can they close it out? Can they get back? Find out after the break.
7-5 half here in our first best of one of the evening, and it's in favor of MIBR here on Ancient. The Young Sharks, they have what it takes to bring things back into their control. They'll have a shot here on the CT side. They have to make some magic here. It all starts with the first pistol.
Yeah, MIBR had a bit of a slow start, but once they picked up the pace, things were looking very bright for them. But still, Young Sharks not too far off. And especially with this pistol, they could very well make the difference. Now, this is a strat I don't usually get to see on Ancient. They are going to go with a full-on train right through middle and wrap around through CT to overwhelm the Sharks. And thus far, it seems to be working pretty damn good.
I mean, Doc, last one left alive. Good for one. Can you make a second one out of it? Can you make a meal out of this? I don't think that's to be the case. You're investing a little bit of util in here just to try and confirm this kill. Make sure that no resistance can be found. For Doc, I mean, there's really not much to be done here.
Investment into the decoys. Have to respect it. Well, there are certainly a bunch of extra kills, maybe even more. But, okay, well, exit brings that to an end. I thought Sappy for a second was on the way to knife, but all good. MIBR bomb plant and money now in the bag. And, well, Young Sharks, they too, on the CT side, like a bit of a force buy.
Yeah, still not a fan. But maybe they can make it sing for them. I do have a scout in hand. I want to see if that can make any meaningful connection. Obviously, MIBR, off the back of winning that round, they've got more armor than they know what to do with. So, going to take a little bit more to get the full value out of the scout. But it could be devastating.
On rush, but it's been shut down, and with that, very crucial weapons and utility lost in the process, even more damage dealt. But this is a very nice setup, so Tux at least is able to get that one kill going. Technically still a 3-on-3. They just don't want to get aggressive. They know that Asani is here. Oh, that's a very dirty tag through the smoke, but still standing.
See, this is the thing about the high-risk investment. Because if it pays off, you're absolutely laughing. If DRG is able to pick up one of these, if he's able to recover one of the weapons that have been dropped, they're going to be feeling so hot to trot on that one. The HP is so low here for two of the MIBR players that even with inferior weapons, it won't even take a headshot. Just a stray bullet will give you the numbers advantage. They're going to have to be perfect here. DRG's got a great angle, but surely they clear him.
Oh, there we go. Follow-up kill has been found. Still a 2-on-2. Drop 3 positions into Donut. I think this is great. They know that the Sharks have limited amount of weaponry and utils, so this position for a post plant often works out really well in scenarios like this. Just have to wait out a timer, and then you can have exit. Be a bit of the bait sitting in towards long, maybe make a bit of commotion, but perhaps the first player to be found, and that means troubles out in Paradise. Gaffalo with a scout seems to be looking quite good, but there's no kit. No time for the Sharks to get the defuse going.
Now, see, if it were me, maybe you don't invest so heavily in the weapons. Maybe you ensure that you do have... Maybe they did have at the start of the round. I'll be honest with everybody, I did not check. So maybe they did have and they lost it somewhere on the map, which would be devastating in and of itself. But they do manage to hold on to 2 Galils. They managed to completely decimate the entirety of MIBR's full buy. So what would have been a bonus is a full-on reinvest. So in that regard, Sharks are going to be feeling pretty damn good with that round.
Yeah, that makes this round up to come pretty equal as far as weaponry and the utility goes. No timeout being used here by MIBR. Of course, kind of feeling the breaths of the Sharks in their necks. Like, there is definitely a gap for them to work with, but some of these rounds, yeah, perhaps a bit too close for comfort.
A timeout coming through, well needed. Have to readjust how they're going to be taking this next round, knowing that they're going to be on the knife's edge here. If they lose this, sure, they still have a great lead, but Sharks start to catch up. But it looks like it's going to be another aggressive pop straight through mid. First player taken down. A is free for the taking.
Well, that certainly is noise being made. Surely the Sharks would have somewhat of an idea, but relatively far away. Now Tog's the only one kind of close. But I think with this investment and the money being so low right now on the Sharks, you've already lost a player as well in the process. This is just, yeah, a round that you kind of have to give up. Have to just maybe try again the next round. That's at least an upgrade found, which is really nice. If you can hang on, or they can escape. Just have to make sure you're running as far away as possible.
I don't know, you channeled his inner penguin there. A happy feet came through. That is a really old reference, by the way. Like, I don't even know if everybody in chat would even get that. But, it's a great movie. Really good. You guys should check it out. MIBR gonna be happy? Things. Hell yeah. Double digits on board here on our first map. And they're barely even breaking a sweat right now.
Yeah. The confidence is really shining through. Insane 14 kills, Exit 15. Sephi on the AWP as well, 2 KD. It's like, what more do you want? This squad is on fire.
So late at night, I nearly started singing Adele. But I stopped myself. Very proud of myself for maintaining at least some semblance of composure here. Look at this flood. Like, not even flood util, just like overwhelming util towards mid. Sharks know that if they let MIBR take that space, they're in danger. So instead, they've completely left A unchecked.
Yeah. It's just Togs who is sitting in donut, gets smoked off, and now there's nothing he can do. Rotating player already into CT, sure. But MIBR have a lot of space. Now they don't necessarily have to bomb up on the side just yet, and this is a bit tricky. A player so far pushed does get 1 kill, but gets traded, and now this side might still get compromised because the smokes and the mollies are not going to keep up for that much longer. And now the CTs are here.
Yeah, the potential lurk activation could be phenomenal, though. Ooh, HE kill. Love that. A side relatively open, but Doc is still standing, not for much longer. And the last line of defense here is Togs, and here's that lurk that I was waiting for. Bam. Easy round for MIBR.
Yeah, really nicely done. Yeah, so immediately picking up the pace here. Young Sharks being in a spot where they want to get aggressive, but they're very hesitant to do so, and then often it comes way too late into the round. In this case, costing the A-bomb site already being compromised. So there was still a good shot of them being able to retake it, but yeah, in this case, not quite working out. Oh, well, we're back to our mid battles. This time, though, it is won by MIBR, continuing to put the pressure upon the map. But as soon as mid has been taken, they immediately leave. They continue to go on to the core of the mission. Seems to be B-side for the time being, but Smokes will delay it for now.
Great start to the round already. And this is what I was saying in the previous, right? Mid, MIBR, it's their absolute playground. And they get so much value out of it. Now with the player advantage here, looking to inch towards B. But this aggressive AWP could be a hit or a miss. 1-2 swing, 1-2 swing. And the AWP is offline.
footsteps certainly are heard here by Doc, but there's so many faces. And they appear on your screen all at once. It's a very famous saying, it's teamwork makes the dream work, and teamwork certainly is present here for MIBR. It's just all so clean.
This is devastating for Sharks because they haven't won a single round on their CT half yet. It's just been the MIBR show from start to finish. And you just gotta hate that for them. Toxic's gonna do a little bit of damage here. Takes away one of the guns, but that's all he's gonna be good for. Would have wanted to hold on to that weapon, but unfortunately, going to be denied the opportunity. Limited cash left. It's map and series point for our first best of one. And the Sharks have so little to back them up. It's going to take nigh on a miracle to come through on this one. They've got to keep that pressure up in mid. Because MIBR just have free reign from start to finish. I want to see Sharks take that mid control, push through, and wrap around. And I think that if they can crunch, it might be the thing that turns it around.
Peekaboo action, and now caught in the midst of the act. Now 2 opening frags here for the Sharks, make it 3. Immediately picking up the pace, shutting MIBR down. Yeah, and now they're just completely all across the map, not quite being able to trade one another anymore due to the lack of numbers.
It's going to be a free AWP for the Sharks as well. Thank you very much. Oh man, they get 5. Oh, and they do! Oh, that is devastating for MIBR. But I do love when teams prove me right. That mid control, such an important pivot piece. But here's the thing. It took so long for them to do that. MIBR is still on map and series point. And there's no way they allow them to do that again.
There's so much wiggle room here for MIBR. You know, if they don't close it out right now, they have so many more chances in order to do so. The Sharks just can't afford to make a single mistake anymore. And of course, this is the distant one. But at the end of the day, each and every single matchup counts. Thus far, so good though. 2 opening frags once more. They've got that mid control going and immediately separating MIBR, so they have to slow it down in order to regroup.
Sharks still in with a chance here. Again, that mid control, that mid prio coming into fruition beautifully for them. Now they have to hold the line. Some very tight angles held here, waiting for someone to peek around the corner. Doc flashed out, but his teammate is there to back him up, and he'll clean it up. The last kill. One more round for Sharks. One more stay of execution. One more opportunity to take this to, dare I say it, Velas, overtime?
Well, could be. Right now, MIBR is running out of money. But this round certainly will have to be an eco. Maybe a deagle at most. So that is... well, unless something really insane happens, it's going to be 8 at least for the Sharks. Oh. I'd love to see that, even against pistols, but still as crisp and clean as ever. Not backing down, not shying away from opportunities, and continuing to take that bit.
Bearing in mind, obviously, oh, rough shot there. Still an anti-eco, so we do expect them to come out on top of this one at the very least, and fairly cleanly as well. Haven't lost a player yet, and Safi's going to be the last one left alive. Bomb in hand. A plant would be nice. And, I mean, he doesn't know this, but the entirety of Sharks is over towards B. Pivoted towards A. There's a chance he could get bombed down, but seems unlikely.
Yeah. But this is really nice. Sharks winning this clean. But of course, they still have to get 4 more.
They've managed to get 3. 4 more is certainly not an impossible task. I do find it funny that literally the round after I said they haven't won a single round, they're like, you know what? Hold my beer.
Let's do it now.
Better late than never.
Very true. Look at this. Once again, very heavy on the utility here towards the B-bomb site. Denies entry for the time being here for MIBR, and that was a beautiful counter flash. Insanely, completely blind, but plan still sticks around. MIBR commit to this B-bomb side. Thus far, so good. But the defense is sort of trying to corner them towards the main entrance of B. Continue to tag up the defense, and now things are starting to look a bit dire. Player down, Buffalo low, stuck behind smokes.
Gave up mid that round, Velas, and unfortunately, it cost them dearly. Last player left alive, and Safi will deal with it quick sharp. 13-8 in our first best of 1 of the evening. MIBR will be taking Ancient, and fairly one-sided, it must be said. You know, the scoreline, I feel like, actually belies just how one-sided. It makes it seem a lot closer than it was, but a lot of those rounds were very heavily in MIBR's favor.
Yeah, for sure. This really felt like MIBR's experience here shining through. We know this is a map that they love to play, and they win often as well. They have, I think, a 87% win rate on this map in the past 3 months, and they face heavy opponents. You know, they played so many of these close qualifiers for big events. Those are not nobodies. So, to be fair, this went the way I think we kind of predicted this.
100%. And well, that's going to be MIBR winning out the first one, but there is one more best of 1 at the end of this short break. Welcome back, everybody, to ESL Challenger League 47 South America. I'm Nari, and I'm joined by Velis, who swapped in for Hayes a little bit earlier on. We've been through our first best of one of the evening, and it was a fairly decisive win for MIBR. But now we're going to get to see, do Sharks have a shot at the redemption arc? We've got our veto below us, Velis, so what are we looking at?
Yeah, so the map we will be seeing is Inferno. This is a map that is sort of in the middle of the pack for both these two teams. Of course, I think maybe the obvious pick being Ancient. We already had, that's out of the way. That's immediately an insta-ban. But yeah, I mean, it sort of makes sense, not quite playing to your most weaknesses. Those, of course, you immediately want to get out, but then, yeah, ultimately, we get a couple of counter picks here as well. Anubis being taken out by MIBR, which is the most played map for Sharks. So, I do see that MIBR is confident that even though it's maybe not the best map for them, that they feel they might be able to take it by taking out the strong maps for Sharks.
Yeah, I think that this was always going to be difficult because statistically, MIBR look better on most of the maps in the pool, but for a lot of them, the margin is relatively small. So this feels like one of the, more evenly kilted ones. It was either going to be this or like maybe Nuke, and Nuke is not great for Sharks. So unsurprising that this is where we eventually end up landing up. And I quite like it. I like Inferno on CS2. I think that it's a lot of fun. I love the updates to the visuals. I think it's so much more aesthetically pleasing than it was before. Not that that matters to these players. This is a map that everyone understands. You know, if you get to this level of CS, you have to know Inferno. You have to understand it. You have to be able to play it to a certain level. And I think that for both of these two teams, that should definitely be the case. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they play it out.
Yeah, I mean, Inferno is actually a map we don't get to see as much, I feel, in CS2 than in comparison to CSGO. It feels like it's a bit more narrow, claustrophobic, perhaps, especially stuff like Banana. But, you know, at the end of the day, this is just what teams prefer, and things have shifted when we crossed over to the newer version. But at the end of the day, it can still be played, and it will be played right here, right now. This is fairly interesting. We have a two-man push through apartment, so immediately Young Sharks going for that information. Thus far, we had a bit of contact made. Oh, well, that's a bit awkward. Almost a punish pick there. But everyone's still standing.
Nothing committed just yet, although it looks like now Bomb is going to start making its way over towards the A site. And I like this from MIBR. Make a little bit of noise across both places and see where you decide to pop. But now they're going to go for brackets. And unfortunately, Insani's going to lose his life.
Ooh. They continue to stand tall here on short. A bit of panic. Talks will take on the fight instead. And now there's a lot of heads you need to be clicking in a very short amount of time. Not quite possible. So with that, bomb planted. Smokes are up. And there's a lot of delay for those two remaining players for the Sharks. Gonna wrap around here. Where are all those MIBR players sitting? We have one very sneakily up in apps. Two tucked into the site. Now there is still a flash. Pretty good one, but doesn't really seem to matter at all. The kills start to fly.
MIBR are going to be happy with that. They are currently 2 for 3 on pistols. The very first pistol round on Ancient actually went over to Sharks. But then MIBR won it in the second half, and now they've won the first pistol here on Inferno. Ton of extra cash in bag. What are Sharks going to do? It looks like they're not going to lean into the same force that we saw them do on Ancient, and I think this is the right call. It didn't really work out for them previously. While they did do a lot of economic damage, and they were able to save a few of their guns, ultimately didn't net them the results that they wanted. So keep your cash, save up for the next.
Everyone's stacking up here. Banana, though. Flashed in, and it's actually pretty good. Well, one kill. And that looks to be the end of it. Eventually, there is so much cavalry on the other side that it is a very tough force to reckon with. But I do like the setup. I like the idea, you know, you invest into a single flash. And maybe it were just 1 or 2 players and the fight would have been a lot easier. But yeah, sometimes this is just what you have to try out in these eco rounds. This time, you know, didn't get as much of the crowd as they would hope. But now time for the rivals, time to show what they are worth.
I think that went more or less to be expected. A little bit of a lack of util, unfortunately, for Sharks here. And they've burnt through what little they did have for the most part. Only 2 smokes left to try to play off of. But again, it's going to be another brackets pop. Oh, player spotted out, and Follow is going to be forced off of this angle. Ooh, the high-low fails massively, and MIBR just crack open this site with the help of Exit. That was nasty.
Yeah, and just before you blink, it is already over. Didn't even have to rush to get a bomb planted, you know, just make sure everything's clear. Only dogs left, and ideally, ugh, if he could save, but nope, will be denied. MIBR off to the race is a great start, showing their worth up in the buy round as well. And well, this is surely a very good confidence boost. You can see that Young Sharks might be even tempted to sort of half by fours ish. A bit tricky, but at least try to get some firepower behind them as we have a player. I reckon disconnect.
Yep, seems likely. Everybody's chilling out in their spawns. Nobody's doing too much of anything. So generally, that's the sign of a tech issue. So hopefully we'll get that ironed out as quickly as possible. But MIBR so far showing that same dominance that we saw from them over on Ancient. Not looking to let up on the accelerator for even a moment. I think back to Exit. He had a great first map as well. Some beautiful multi-kills from him. And he's just following that through here on Inferno again.
Yeah, I mean, the start thus far, really, really solid. The way that we're able to shut them down in such a fairly easy take on this buy round is, I think, a really good sign of what is to come. But it is early, you know, anything could still change. You just never really know, especially on a map like Inferno, which tends to be very back and forth. So yeah, early stages, but the signs seem to continue in line of what we saw on the previous map.
Yeah, the writing's on the wall, especially for the economy as well. We were seeing it. Sharks kind of toying with the idea of a bit of a force-up, a bit of a like a half-buy kind of scenario, have some sort of weaponry into this round. And again, it's a little bit of a gamble. If you have got a little bit of firepower behind you, maybe you can swing things back in your favor. But the upshot, you know, if you opt to save, it's what I was saying on the second round as well. If you opt to hold on to some of that cash, you can come through with a far more robust buy into the next. And, you know, if you can do a little bit of economic damage on the way out, then maybe you're in with a better opportunity. Because MIBR at the moment, they are raking in cash. The last 2 rounds have been fairly one-sided. MIBR do lose a couple of players here or there, but for the most part, they've come through it pretty cleanly. So the reinvests from them have been minimal.
Yeah, for sure. And on the back of the previous map as well, the confidence must be going through the roof. But every single player just really did their part. Safi on the AWP as well, which is, I think once the money is on the table here for MIBR to once again reinvest into an AWP, I think this is where we get to see a very scary side of MIBR. Still yet to be tested here on this particular map, but it's certainly a very interesting prospect to look forward to.
We should be getting back into the game fairly shortly, guys, so please do just bear with us a little bit longer. And the AWP battles have actually been really interesting, and I feel like Safi, for the most part, has kind of been winning out on that pretty damn consistently. I'll take a look at the, the last matchup that they played and find those statistics, and yeah, I mean, Exit has performed incredibly well, and then I head on over to these AWPers. We'll have a look here. So Safi with AWP managed to get, Matt's this late at night, 9 AWP kills. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Whereas Gafalo only managed to pick up 3. Not the greatest performance from him there.
No, and I think this is actually a very positive look here for MIBR, considering usually Sephi is actually kind of at the bottom end of the scoreboard. His AWP impact hasn't been the greatest yet in CS2. I mean, his scores are not terrible, but he's certainly, it's not like his rating is flying through the roof or anything in the past couple months. But him now topping the scoreboard, at least on map 1, is a very positive sign.
Definitely is a great sign of things to come. See if MIBR can pivot off of that nicely. As yes, it looks like Sharks did opt instead to hold on to the little bit of cash that they had available to them. A small little bit of a spend into this one, but lots of cash left over for the next round. So just get through this, try and do some economic damage if you can, because MIBR, I mean, exit on $7,500. Like, even doing a little bit of damage isn't going to make the biggest difference in the world there.
Default here coming out of MIBR, slowly creeping through here. Definitely not shy to take some space. And perhaps could punish, has exit right beside him. They're very much tempted to maybe catch someone off guard. Well, shoulder spots in, hide the kill, and now not ready for the player up in CT. Danger around the corner. A lot of trades happening here though, but that could mean potential weapons here that could be picked up if they are not completely ready for it, but they are. Still a good tag. Lots of damage dealt.
Unfortunately, no weapons recovered, which would have been ideal off the back of these couple of kills that they've managed to garner for themselves. Drop is completely unaware, it feels. Oh, but there you go. Spidey sense tingling. He's going to go to check out what's happening over in Banana. And as soon as Togs peeks his head, he's going to get ripped off. No, he's just going to be able to chill. He's going to hold on to that armor. The Kevlar, keep it into the next round. But it's another round for MIBR here.
Makes kind of sense to sort of exit as a unit just in case Togs was sitting at a different angle. You don't want to hand over an AK for free to your opponent. Yeah, and thus far, I mean, two losses taken, sure. But 4 rounds in a row, the money is not really going to go anywhere for the time being. And for Young Sharks, the pressure is on. We have Buffalo here with an orb on his side at least. But is it going to be worthwhile? Can they stand their ground? Now that we have another buy back on the table.
Follow open hand, looking to see if he can step up a little bit in this round. Or on this map, rather, let me say. I think MIBR will be happy if they can take that AWP away from him. I'll be curious to see if they do opt into the T-sided AWP. I think there's a lot to be said for it. But I know some teams do like to shy away from it from time to time. And MIBR playing this really safe. This is the right call to make. Default a little bit. Bait. I mean, so much of that util has already been chucked down. Buffalo with the driest peak of his life. Easy opening kill there.
Follow up as well. And now, this is usually the part in the round where they're not shy to continue to take space. Try to really lock their opponents into a bit of a corner. So far, so good. MIBR only with 2 players left. Very limited amount of util to even try and get up on a site if you even want to go for it in the first place. Now, there is plenty of money, so maybe the goal here is to just try and make it costly for the Sharks.
It's a great round so far from Sharks off the back of a fantastic opener. And the follow-up up towards brackets as well. And Drop needs to try and get something done here. I think the chances of him being able to recover the bomb and head over towards B site are slim to 0. He's got 2 players trained in on his position, one of which is the AWP. Holy smokes! How does he win that? Not gonna live for too much longer to tell the tale, but impressive opening shot there.
For sure. But now, Young Sharks found their first upon the board. This needs to be one of many more. Because right now, if MIBR just immediately bounce back, it's gonna bring the Young Sharks back to square one, basically, and MIBR can just continue to roll. That's a scenario which you want to prevent. So this round, perhaps, maybe even more important than the previous.
Follow looking to have a repeat performance there, but flashed immediately off of the angle. He's going to have to fall back, and his teammate dies for his sins.
Tempted to maybe regress into short, but does decide to back off. There's a very cheeky angle, spots the head, but instead drop is just a tad bit quicker. Even though a bit of baiting happening amongst the orb, Guffalo still hits one, but there is so much force to be reckoned with. And now with the smokes, yeah, no choice, no money, no option but to save.
It's a great bounce back from MIBR off the back of a round that I don't think they were expecting to lose out on quite so heavy-handedly. And now they're going for the hunt as well. They want to ruin Sharks' economy. Really want to send a little bit of a message here. And I think, so if they win both of these maps, if I have this, like if my maths is mathsing, that should put them in contention to come back in Season 48. Just off the back of these two rounds. Well, these two best of ones.
It very well could, yeah.
It's kind of nuts when you think about it.
There's still a lot more to play for, of course. Round difference might as well also make a difference as to how far they can climb up.
And not every team has played all of their games yet, so there's
Very
still
true.
a lot of potential, like, upward movement, but just based off of, like, today at the end of this series, they could move themselves a good few steps up the leaderboard.
Oh, what a brilliant opening. Flash wasn't even necessary just yet, and whoa, they just continue. MIBR is on fire. And immediately, you know, defense falls, money low, and it's a repeat of last round. Young Sharks, no choice but to stick together. Have to be extremely lucky if their bomb were to be heading the way of A, but yeah, I guess in this case they could be lucky if they are allowed to save their weapons. We do still have drop. I mean, his money's not the most ideal, to be fair, to go hunting. But maybe someone else will.
I'm not even convinced it's worth it. I think rather than hunt, just chill out. Don't give over any weapons unnecessarily. You know, like you said, Drop's not really the flushest of players right now. Safi is also a little bit low. We'll have quite a bit of cash by the end of this round. But it looks like they're going to hunt it anyway. What we were saying, assert that dominance. They're even investing a little bit of util on the hunt, but it could cost them dearly. Gafalo misses the shot. He's forced away, and the hunt will continue.
Getting costly, but they do get all weapons away in the end. I think especially getting that orb out is crucial. Now, it was costly for MIBR, but as you said, inserting dominance, and the buyer of the Sharks will be weaker. SMGs, Deagle on board, not a lot of util. Only Doc with a hero rifle.
Now, I know it's nearly Easter, guys, but that's not the Easter egg hunt we were looking for. However, they did find all the eggs. I'm very happy with how that round ended for themselves. Yes, they have to reinvest. They still have lots of money. Insani's still chilling on 5k. No complaints to be had here. I'm really hoping that we get to see some results from the MP9s, because you can really farm up some cash with that. But, aw, come on. Don't let the M4 get the kills.
Not quite. Also, the flip side, the nade finishing finishing off the job there. And with Banana on lockdown into 8, it will be. Slowly creeping up. Don't want to give too much of a warning sign. Now, this smoke certainly will. And everyone is in position already, looking away for the flash. And now these MP9s perhaps could do the work, or perhaps the Deagle as well. That's 1 kill. But the AKs are just a tad bit stronger. But 1 versus 2, not impossible, especially Dog having a rifle on his back. Only problem being is perhaps no kit. So time will be of the essence now. It's smoked off angle. Oh, but that's a bit awkward. A tiny bit of a gap in the smoke will become the end of Safi. Now drop. Here's all those footsteps. Knows exactly where Doc is sitting. But this bomb plan a bit awkward, but he fakes. Will be forced out. And drop on the back of that can pick him right up. MIBR just continue their streak.
Honestly, great patience from Drop. Bomb's not planted for him. That tap could very easily have been a stick. And he just chills. He hangs out. And of course, the peak will inevitably come through, and he just has to hold the line. Now the round for MIBR. You know what? It doesn't even matter that the rounds are getting close at this point, because MIBR keep winning them. They can keep throwing their bodies at every single round, and until they actually lose one, it doesn't make a difference. And with only... I nearly did maths. But with a very small number of 3 rounds left in this half. No, is it 3? No, it's 4. Ah, that's what happens when you do maths.
Wait, no, not... Oh, no, yeah, you are right. No,
yeah.
Maths is hard, yeah.
Especially at like 2 a.m.
Very true.
3 a.m, jeez. Yeah, I never do maths on stream. But 4 rounds left in this half. And the Sharks are desperate to put them in the back pocket. What is that banana aggression? Bro just full sent it and then died.
Yeah, not quite what you would like to see. Especially not from Insane, who typically is the one to go insane. Not quite on this particular map yet, but the rest of the team surely will. And just continues to add kill after kill. This is rough. So MIBR is the one to lose their first player, but they just completely turn the round around, leaving Young Sharks once more empty-handed. They invested heavily into this round, and it's like it's all going up in flames.
One might say it's an inferno, Velas.
Very, very true.
I didn't think I was going to be making that pun tonight, but here we are.
But here we are.
Oh, and they're hunting this again, man. Sharks just cannot catch a break.
They're tempted. But they'll give them this.
Well, you know what? Sometimes a handicap is the nicest thing you can do, but I don't know how Sharks come back into this. It's just felt like everything that they try is consistently stamped down upon, right? They try and take banana control, they get pushed back. They try and play, you know, a little bit more passive. They just get absolutely run over. They get the first kill of the round, and meanwhile on the other side of the map, they're getting run over. It just feels like they have no read on MIBR.
Oh, this is a cool play, though. So last round, we've seen players wanting to get Eps control denied by Molotovs. So I guess second mid aggro will have to be it instead, as well as the follow-up from mid. But the thing is, they keep the numbers even, the trades are always there, and perhaps the punishment as well. I mean, we have seen Young Sharks open up with very aggressive entries. MIBR is definitely, you know, keeping an eye out on this aggression. So they're catching them like flies once more. Living just Dog. Now he has rotated over, not quite a shot connecting just yet. But that is position revealed, and in a very awkward spot right now. The bomb is on the site. And with 3 men strong, MIBR, no doubt that they can have this on lockdown.
Oh, I would have liked to have seen Doc get a little bit more done there, but
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not to be.
Not today. And the gap is just becoming bigger and bigger. And here we thought Ancient was already a very much a common pick for MIBR, and their stats were insane. But now this feels very much like a run over. Young Sharks continuously struggle with their economy. Right now, they are just sort of doing a half buy, buying to around 1500. So, you know, at least with the loss bonus next round, they would be able to buy up. But it's not going to be the most optimal buy here.
Again, looking to see if they can farm a little bit of cash. What is MIBR going to be up to this time? They're a little bit cheeky with a lot of their plays here. But a util should give the game away that they might be a bit of aggression in towards apartments. But this will be a fake. There's still heavy presence over towards Banana. Nothing doing just yet.
Oh, and in comparison to last round, I mean, sure, lesser weaponry, but they're playing so much more passive. Just jiggling around the corner here. And they have a nice crossfire setup. But, oh, who's the player? Spotted. There's a good couple of trades here, actually. Sure, couple players tagged. But now you have a player advantage, and that's a very nice kill to lock it in. But 1 versus 3, what more can be done? Can MIBR do the unthinkable, get to 10, and just bully Young Sharks?
This is not the round that I thought that they were gonna... No!
Oh, they line up, they want to double swing, and no! Don't push!
No! Don't peek!
Oh, well...
Don't peek!
Oh... Long range MP9. That's... well, very ballsy to say the least. Now, opportunity to get that bomb planted. Smoker is up. Okay. Nade, not quite any vision. And he doesn't wrap around, so now it's just a waiting game. There is a kit and a smoke, in fact. So this still could pan out in a very tricky way. But Tux is just overthinking the situation where he is. He's still checking the site. So much time being wasted if the lineup is right, even with a smoke present. Oh, but it's not quite. There we go. There is the headshot we were looking for. And a 1v3 still coming into full effect. Young shots off. Just being eaten alive.
Man, that was so close. The fact that they could have won that out up at top bracket and there was no swing. There were 2 players watching down sights and neither of them could win it out. And I think that this is one of the big issues right now because MIBR, as stratted and clean as they look for the most part, it also just comes down to winning these gun battles. That one, however, they will lose.
Now, Doc certainly has been stepping up big time here. Looking fairly clean. But the round is not over yet. We have seen Young Sharks actually get quite a fair amount of openings, only for the round to just completely turn up its head. This is fairly interesting. So they managed to get the kill over towards Banana, but there's 0 Banana control. Only now, they're going to be investing into it. We'll be flashing. Trades go 1 for 1. Now the flash is here. Also a counter flash. A very awkward situation right now upon this site. They will be taken out.
This is still so down to the wire, though. These are some of the closest rounds we've seen so far. But MIBR still very much coming out on top of it. A 2-pronged approach back towards the site now. The post plant should be good for MIBR. Sharks have an inkling.
Taking with an AWP is not easy, especially now not. That one being the last one standing takes a nasty hit from the nade, but position now revealed. Time continues to tick, and Guffalo is not the one with the kid. That's an 11-1 half. A very dominant scoreline, and find out after the break if they can close it out.
Ancient was a little bit closer, but this time around, MIBR have decided they're not playing around. They want to keep this as quick and clean as possible and be home in time for tea. 11-1 in favor of MIBR. 2 rounds is all they need to close it out. If they win this pistol, Velis, it could be over.
It very well could be. Oh, that's a lovely flash into the side. Only problem being, Sappy's still here. Good with 1 kill already, and now the rest of the defense can slowly come into full effect. I do love this position with Buffalo, and thus far works well. So that is the rotation taken care of for the time being. Player advantage secured, as well as that bomb plant.
Positions are quite telegraphed here. MIBR, no kit in hand, but they just want to keep this as close as possible. Taps the bomb. No peek. Come on. Oh, nice shot from Gaffalo. We said the pistol could be GG, but Sharks not willing to give up the ghost just yet. They'll snag this. Both teams actually winning their T-sided pistols in both of our series today, interestingly enough. But what do MIBR do here, right? So they forced up when we were on Ancient. Sharks did the same, but they didn't on this map. And it feels like MIBR is the kind of team that, yeah, they're going to go for it. They're feeling confident.
Damn. Yeah. I mean, I do understand it. If they can do it in this fashion, if they can just bounce back. And, you know, if they get a kill or two, you could just suddenly have an AK in your hands. And then a round could spiral out of control. Especially when you're trying to disrupt a T-side push. Invested into utility as well here. A couple smokes, nades. Somebody could really help these pistols out. Like, for example, that nade. It's a good amount of chip damage. Now a smoke to delay them further.
Should be fairly well telegraphed that it's going to be this banana push here. Rotations haven't come through yet, so they might be trying to opt for the retake. Who needs a retake? Don't let them get on site. 3 versus 2, Villas. It's all gone so wrong.
It has. Now, there's not any weapons being picked up in the process apart from that SMG, which, no, was invested into. So, players have to wrap around. There's no kit, so time is the only thing not quite working in favor of MIBR here. Slowly trying to grind. There's a very nice trade. Now to try and swing together, and they do so. They make it work.
Oh, they had absolutely no right to do that. Their hold on this site was nasty. And this is what I was saying a little bit earlier on, right? Like, MIBR, they understand the map. They understand what they need to do. But on top of everything else, they're hitting their shots. And it sounds like such a, like a herder comment to make. Like, yes, well done, Costa. This is a shooting game. But sometimes some people shoot harder than others. It is a fact. It sounds like a dumb fact, but it is a fact.
So the difference in skill is just noticeable here in this matchup. Previous map already showed it in some regard, but this is a walkover. MIBR clearly are the better team, and I don't think it's a question of if they're going to close it out, but more so when. Nades tagging up. One player thus far. These Tech 9s, once again, they don't really seem to take the fast-paced approach. Looks for a contact play through apartments. One player already revealed their ass, the smoke dissipates, and now they will try and swarm the pit, and they will get a couple of trades out, making things very difficult, running out of bullets as well. Who knows what more that the young Sharks can do, but this is so scary. They go for the bomb plant, but look at the player's HP. 2 and 13.
Oh. A snappy shot. One to come
Oh.
through from Gaffalo. He's doing so much. He's brought it down to an even kilter. No ways. The reload. And he takes full advantage. 13 HP and a dream. And Gaffalo makes the dream a reality.
That should not have happened.
Nope.
MIBR let the ball just drop completely there. And with that, money is also back to square one. They will continue to buy up, it seems.
Surely they don't force again. Oh,
yeah, they
boy.
do. I mean, the money was a bit iffy. I think some players had to force, so it kind of makes sense. Would have been a double eco anyways. But yeah, not the most ideal scenario. We were praising MIBR for being so clean, and then that's the round that prevents them from well, winning
timing. Still no kid on board here. So again, MIBR are relying on this round being incredibly close. I don't think it will be.
Oh, well. Maybe there is a bit of wiggle room. Especially now with Insanely an exit. What is happening?
Not this
MIBR.
round. Not this round, Veerless.
They continue to force up. They don't care. Pick up an M4 and a Process exit is tagged up, and now you're stuck into crossfire. Nowhere where you can escape into an MIBR with a 10-round difference. Finally finished it out. Well, I say finally. Well, they should have just done a good round earlier.
I mean, honestly, to win it on a buy like that, on a round like that,
yeah,
absolutely ridiculous. But there you have it, folks. MIBR with a fairly close affair on the first half of Ancient. But once we got into the second half, it was all MIBR all the time. Quickly made their way through that first map. And the second map, I mean, blink and you missed it, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. This was so fast, so insanely fast. And right now, you really see the gap in between these two teams. There was not really a scenario where this was gonna flip around and the Sharks would have an insane comeback. MIBR was just playing insanely clean, with the exception of the anti-eco. But overall, I really love to see their gameplay. It was very solid. It wasn't necessarily like there was one player that was doing all the work. It really felt like a team effort.
All right, well, that's going to be it from us here at the ESL Challenger broadcast. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Heartfelt congratulations once again to MIBR for winning their first matches of the season. And of course, they'll climb up the leaderboard ever so slightly. We'll be back very soon with more Challenger League action. So keep your eyes on social media and we'll see you very soon.